let's see who we have next. We have, probably it's time to take, after all that love connecting, to take a little break and maybe expand our minds and in interesting directions. Is there anybody that could have a some sort of recreational activity that might take us to new places?
Yeah, I think we can swoop in on that. Brain Bugs is up. Awesome presentation, you guys. That was super fun to start out with. Hello again to everybody on the call. Thanks for spending some time with us this morning. We're really excited to share with you what we've been working on for the past few weeks. And this is our project, Brain Bugs. So I think everyone kind of knows the drill for now in the agenda. We'll go through some team member intros, talk a bit about the project before going into a fun demo, so you have some context for that. And then we'll come back, touch on a few more points, and of course open it up for questions at the end. So formally, we are this.group. You'll meet my team members, Daisy Johnson, Josh Williams, Chris Hammersley, and my name is Tia. So let's meet Daisy first.
Hi, everybody. My name's Daisy, and I'm a full-stack JavaScript developer, and I'm located in Kalispell, Montana. Before becoming a programmer, I spent my time in the customer service industry and also as a student. Through these roles, I've learned to be an efficient, independent, self-starting worker, and I have a passion for pursuing knowledge that can just help me expand on any skill set I can get my hands on. I admire the never-ending stream of education that comes along with the world of software development, because there's always new languages to understand and methods to master. And I just enjoy putting my passion into any project that comes my way, including the one that you're about to see. So I'll pass it off to Josh.
Hi, yeah, I'm Josh Williams. I'm a software developer from Kent, Washington. My background is in music. I spent years working on cruise ship bands and teaching private lessons and doing work as a guitarist. And with software development, I wanted to find a new challenge, express myself in different ways, and think about things in different ways. And I really like the challenge and the problem solving and the fun of coding. So I've really had I've had a great time learning over the past few months and focusing on building full stack JavaScript apps. And I'm excited to continue over the next few weeks with Codefellows and beyond in my career and life, just continuing to explore programming. So with that, I will pass it off to Chris.
Yeah, hi, my name's Chris. I'm a software developer based in Seattle. My previous experience was in the creative field, and it was nice because I could come up with solutions that were out of the box. I ran and owned my own business, which helped me deal directly with clients, so I know what it takes to make them happy. I initially became interested in coding. I was looking for a product for this company I worked for, and it didn't exist. And I took some classes over the winter to try to figure out if I can make it. I had a really big interest, and it seemed like a really fun new skill to learn. And so I'm really excited to go on this journey. So yeah, I'll pass it up to Tia.
All right, again, my name is Tia. I'm a full stack software developer. I've had kind of a winding road of previous work experience, but it's always been kind of generally based around client and program management. But I always sort of found myself looking for more challenge and inspiration in my work, and that's something that really drew me to this industry. Because of the wide variety of jobs I've had in diverse settings, I've had a lot of opportunity to develop my interpersonal skills, and I do really enjoy working in a team. I take a lot of pride in my role, no matter how big or small. And both kind of personally and professionally, I've always been super curious about people and their stories, and I find a lot of motivation in kind of exploring the technological ways all that stuff can interact. And I like learning about how technology can help us better understand the world around us. And that often comes a lot with finding new ways that it interacts with the natural world, which I quite enjoy. I'm really excited about a future position where I can use those strengths and curiosities to move a team forward. And I'm really looking forward to paying back the strong belief of mine that there's really is a place for everyone in tech. So now that you know the team, let's dive into our app. So I want to touch on the problem domain that we sought to address with this application. Sums it up right there. We created a command line trivia game with multiplayer and chat functionality. So as you know, we've been working for the past several weeks in the backend, which has been really awesome and super interesting to learn about. But I think we're all missing a bit of the color and kind of the type of creativity that comes along with front-end development. So we really wanted to create a fun and colorful game that showcased some of these back-end abilities. So we all also as a team really enjoy playing different types of games. So it's a bit of a retro throwback to old computer games. And also in this environment today, we wanted to provide some entertainment for those who might be missing kind of that trivia night type of environment with their friends at their local spot. So we want to create a full CRUD app, and as it relates to create and read, we seeded and used the Mongo database, which you'll hear more about shortly, for our trivia questions to be able to pull from that. And then we laid the groundwork for future update and delete ability for a user with the right access to be able to add to that trivia question database as well. And with that, we will hear from Josh to go a bit deeper into those details.
Cool, yeah, so I'm gonna talk a little bit about the tools we used. We used this library called Blessed. This is what allows us to kind of take more control of the command line and make it colorful and give it different shapes and buttons and a lot of things that you kind of need for a game like we have built. We used, of course, Node.js to write this, and our database MongoDB is in Atlas, and it's connected to Heroku, which is where our server is, and everything speaks to each other with Socket.io. And then we also used Hyper, which is a terminal that presents well. So you'll see how that looks in just a minute, and it's pretty cool. And then you can also take a look at some of the our initial drops of how the app was going to look. But now it's time to see what it actually looks like. And I'm going to pass the screen over to Daisy. And while we do that, I have a trivia question for you to think about. What is the popular name of the underground part of the mushroom that forms a network between trees? So think about that over the next few minutes.
All right, thanks, Josh. Let me just take 1 second here, get this all figured out. Because I don't know about you guys, but I'm pretty bored with this presentation stuff already. So, oh, hold on. I think me and my buddy Chris here are gonna ditch out for a minute and play a game. What game, might you ask? How about Brain Bugs? So, welcome to Brain Bugs. This looks pretty fun. Look at these cool retro colors. How do I play this game? So I'm gonna enter my name below and click Start Game. Cool. Then I'm gonna pick a category to start the game. All right. And the player who chooses the correct answer first gets the point. Well, better not hold back then. Let's see, I'm gonna use the tab or the arrow key to select the answer. All right, I'm gonna use enter to submit. Cool. I'm gonna start out by putting my name in because I want them to know who beat them. Anyway, let's see who I'm playing against. Hey, Chris. What up, pal? Wow, this is so much fun. Really helps my quarantine loneliness. All right, so what category? Man, so much fun. I'm gonna beat him so good. It's gonna help me. Oh, heck yeah. All right, nice. You're on. I'm not going easy on him at all. Nope. All right, so if I go over here, I can select through our little categories here, and we agreed on video games. So as soon as I hit this, according to the instructions, our questions are going to start. So let's see. What's the name of the world in which the majority of the Warcraft series is set? Azeroth, nice. And if you look up here, you can see my little score increase because I'm winning. What's the best-selling game console of all time? Gotta love that PS2, you know what I mean? What video game series is Arthur Morgan from? Oh, Uh-oh, Chris got a point. Oh, this is kind of stressing me out now. What's the highest? And if you see that when he answered, the question disappeared for me because the person who, oh my gosh, all right, sorry, I'm done talking now. What did Nintendo sell? Playing cards. All right, who did Mario save in the original Donkey Kong? Pauline. And what video game featured the first Easter egg? I don't know if you Ready Player One fans are out there, but it's Adventure. And the original, oh my gosh, okay, what's the original third-person shooter? Wolfen, winner, me, that's right. You see that? Daisy is the winner. Cool, all right, ha 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 ha. Good game, loser. Nice. Oh, that didn't show. Loser. Have to let him know. Okay, I guess that's done. Better get back to the boring stuff now. And if you guys were wondering the answer to our lovely trivia question that we just left you with, it's called the Wood Wide Web. All right, Chris?
Thanks, Daisy. So I'm going to talk about the process and documentation. We were pretty open and honest about what hours we're going to work. We started at 9, and we oftentimes worked until 11 or 10 at night, pretty late nights. We communicated mostly over Slack. We had all of our assignments and things we needed to get ready for it. You can see it below in the Trello board. We try to use Remo as much as possible, but it is sometimes not the best, so we switched to Google, and we also use Zoom. Our Git workflow was pretty good. We made sure that we were all on video as we were merging, so we managed to not have any merge conflicts, which was amazing. We also either pair programming or mob programming, which is great because we all have a really good understanding of how this app works. Previously, we've done I've broken up and done code, but I think this was much more effective and beneficial. So now I will pass it back to Daisy.
All right, so we're going to talk about the hurdles, teamwork, and testing. When we first came up with this idea, obviously, when you create the idea, you have a lot bigger of an expectation than what you come up with. But as you guys saw, that game's pretty dang cool, so not upset at all. But surprisingly, we had to reevaluate our MVP during the week a few times and reprioritize because of the challenge of learning a library that we had never seen before in a really short amount of time. And especially doesn't help that the library was blessed, which really should be called cursed, because the documentation for blessed really appeared to be thorough when we first looked at it. But after actually getting in our project about day 2, we realized the documentation was really insufficient, and it kind of gave you some ideas of what you could do, but no idea on how to actually do it. But as a team, we came together, worked really hard, pushed each other to make it work as best as we could, which I think is really well, based with pretty much nothing to work with in the very, very small documentation. So like I said, the documentation for Blessed is really not the best. So I'm gonna let Josh tell you how hard it was to test.
All right. Yeah, so the main challenge with testing with this was that ultimately a lot of it was about how it looked and how the blessed interactions happened, and with the buttons and moving screens and moving the info around correctly. So it was, and since blessed didn't have great test documentation, it was really difficult to do that. We ultimately were able to test the API pretty well, and we were able to do some tests on the with blessed by just making sure that the correct functions were called and everything. And even though we couldn't test whether the screen looked right, we could test that it had been rendered or that the right pieces were attached. So that was pretty useful. So that's how we approach that. And I'll pass back to Tia.
All right, thanks guys, fun demo, thanks for that. Just a couple more things to touch on before we finish up. This is a quick slide with some resources on it. You'll see a few links there. The first one is to our project repository that has updated README. So if you're interested in playing, go ahead to that spot and check it out. And it should be pretty straightforward. A couple links to our personal GitHubs if you want to check out any other projects. And just some quick thanks. You heard from Daisy about Blessed, but we do still have to shout it out because it was a pillar of our project. It is a pillar of the project. And I'd encourage everyone to check it out, but you can for sure learn from our experience with it. Huge thanks to JB. He seemed to just always be around for us and available and able to point us in the right direction and keep us motivated and encouraged. So huge thanks to that. Our TAs, Kate and Adrian as well. And yeah, you heard about our challenges and our wins, and shout out to the deep learning that comes from an experience like that throughout the week. So I think that sums it up. We'd love to open it up for questions. If anyone has anything, I'll keep an eye on the chat over here. But yeah, if you have any questions.
I'm curious, in the gameplay, does anything happen if you enter a wrong answer? I didn't see anyone mess it up, and I always get stuff wrong in trivia.
Yeah, so, oh, Daisy, did you want to take that? I saw you unmute yourself.
Oh, I mean, yeah, I can. If you answer a question wrong, you just, it kind of freezes the screen and gives the other player the opportunity to answer correctly. If they don't answer correctly, it just automatically moves on to the next question. But yeah, it's pretty harsh on you if you don't get it right the first time. There's no second chances in brain bugs.
So Daisy, when you answered Pauline, which I assumed was incorrect, Chris had the chance of, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm off on that. But Pauline in Donkey Kong, I don't remember her making an appearance. So Chris had the chance to like steal that point.
Yes, but I will correct you that Mario's first love was indeed Pauline. Don't tell Princess Peach though. She doesn't like to talk about it. But yeah, no, I did answer a question wrong in there, I think. But yep, Chris could steal it from me and then I go cry.
All right. Any other questions, folks? Throw them in the chat, or raise your hand, or just shout it out.
So you were all the trivia questions for the app? Are they like predetermined, saved to a database?
Yeah, we created we use Mongo database through the Atlas platform so that we could access it through the cloud, so it integrated with Heroku. But yeah, we created an API server to seed the database with a bunch of posts to get the questions in there. And we wanted to do that to have a whole server for it so that in the future, someone would be able to add to that database as well, or update questions or things like that.
I was just curious if you ever looked into if there's any pre-existing trivia APIs that you could pull new questions from, and if that was ever on your radar.
Yeah, maybe I'll let Chris or Josh. Sorry, Josh, is he?
Yeah, so the the API was definitely something that we had looked into doing, but for the sake of getting through the week and our challenges with Blessed, we just sort of seeded the database and kind of grew it when we had time. But yeah, there's certainly the API we could hit.
Plus, it was really fun writing our own trivia categories and putting them in there.
Okay, you're getting a lot of love in the chat window about the game. That was an intense